Welcome to English 300. This is an online course. It's about writing in the disciplines and disciplines. These walkthroughs, these video walkthroughs, screencasts, are intended to help you navigate through each week. And I'll have them each week. Occasionally we won't have a week, but I will try to, at least for the first month or so, we will have weekly walkthroughs so everybody knows what's going on. And each walkthrough will include a checklist for all you checklisty people. And it'll include this video walkthrough that I'm going through right now with you. And then I'll go through all the assignments that are in here. And then we're done with that part of the, you can watch it, you can skip through it, you can scrub through it, you can put it on double speed, whatever way helps you. But the idea is to watch it. So I'll be looking at how many people are watching this and encourage you to watch it. All right, so we have announcements. So click on the announcements. It tells you a little bit about our syllabus. Important note, in a minute I'll be talking about the tool we're going to use for annotating texts in this class. That's called Hypothesis. And we're going to actually annotate. In the first week of classes, we're going to annotate the syllabus. In the second week of classes, we're going to annotate the first article that we're close reading that we will summarize. So we're going to use this tool right away, so you might as well get used to it. Everybody has to use it in week 1. Okay, so just click on the syllabus and check through it for now, and then I'll show you the other assignment in a minute. Instructor Info is here. You can click on that. And it says my work phone, which is actually my home phone. It's got an answering machine on it, so you can call that. We don't have, all I've got is a virtual office because all of my classes are online. If you're interested in a personal link, you can go to my about.me site. My virtual office hours are here. I'm going to click on that so you can see what they are. So it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it shows here only from 8 to 9. Actually, the hours are from 8 to 11 or 11:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, on days like say next Wednesday, say we only go a half an hour for the Zoom class. If we only go in half an hour, that means there's like 25 minutes, 30 minutes left until I have to reach my next class. So you can use that as office hours as well with questions that you have. And office hours doesn't have to be anything fancy, although later in the semester we will use the office hours and class time as a way to have conferences. So that's office hours right now. And of course, if you've had my classes before, English 100 or 200, you know I like to use Calendly, which is a conference scheduling tool, and it's here, and it's really easy to just click on it. Like my whole advice to you is click on anything that's got a link on it and show me you're curious about things. If you want to have the appointments are already available next Monday. Of course, that's MLK Day, so you might not want to come that day, but I'll be available, and available for Tuesday as well, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have Thursday is the Zoom. It's not a Zoom session. Wednesday and Friday are. So, we'll soon get the hang of this. Hang tough with me. Here's another example of the syllabus. I've got a doc form or a PDF form. And you'll notice that that's draft number 3. That's D3. And after we do our syllabus, hang tough with me. Next item is questions and answers. And this is just a discussion board where you can come and ask questions, but more importantly, you can help answer questions too. This isn't just where you ask me a question, you're asking us as a learning community a question. It could be any question at all. I don't care what it is. Okay? You know, it's like a Reddit AMA. Ask me anything. Or ask the class anything. So, you know, it's easy to use. It's just a discussion board. If you've had discussion board, you can create a thread here. So if you got a new question, that's where you can create it. And down here, you can say, well, what's this all about? So you can go in there and say, there's a question there that says, how do you feel about learning new online tools? Now, you click reply, and then you put your answer in there. Now, if you look, there are 3 sections over here. Tools, ITS Service Desk, WKU, Libraries, and the Student Resource Portal. Please just spend a few minutes in there and just look for stuff, you know, explore. If you look around in there, you might find that you discover that there's a place where you can stream music. There's a place where you can stream movies, and there's all kinds of resources for journals and the like. There's interlibrary loan. I mean, it is an unbelievable source that it's so underused. And you've actually got people over there as well who are designated to speak to you about resources in your discipline. So I'll be coming back to this, but you should go in here and look at these, like there's 4 items here: tools, ITS Service Desk, libraries, and student resource book. I'm trying to go through this a little bit faster. So week 0. So you notice we're just going from the top down. That's the way in all my classes. You start at the top and you work your way down. So week 0 is right now. And week 0 is simply, you know, orientation stuff. This is where you can spend the time to work on the tools and the ITS, you know, look at stuff, explore stuff. I'll give you some, you know, what I think is important information about what I want this class to be. Right? For example, this has you don't have to watch this, but it's got some nice music. And it's also kind of beautiful. This was a day I was walking around in a park up in Hardin County, up near Radcliffe, and there's this nice lake up there, and there were turtles basking. I mean, you can't. It's hard to see them in the video, but there must have been 50 turtles in here. They crawl up on the log and then go. So, and the beautiful diamonds on the water, gorgeous. So I just recorded it and I put it on my YouTube channel. Boom, there you go. Second item here. So you don't want to spend the money to buy a textbook. That's fine. You have to have, when I make an assignment though, and it's in the textbook, I expect you to read it. And you know, this book right here, what it takes, it's, you know, $15, maybe less. You could probably find it cheaper than that somewhere online. Or you can rent it for $20. I don't know. It's a really great textbook. What it is it's a small version of the book right here. Lawrence Barron's and Leonard J. Rosen's Writing and Reading Across the Curriculum. That's the big fat version of that, and I have provided that. It's the full-blown version of what it takes. You can use that. But if I make an assignment, you have to find out where it is in that text. And I can help you, but not a lot, because you've made the choice to choose that for that particular textbook. What it takes is in the second edition. It doesn't much matter. You can use either one, whatever's cheapest. And the last item here, questions and answers. That's what I showed you earlier. So you'll find a lot of times that I repeat myself, that I am what they say, redundant. And it's simply because it's a good idea, you know, to reiterate what you're saying. All right, now let's go to week 1. It's next week. So every week I will have a checklist for all you checklisty people who like to print stuff out and mark them off. I will try to include everything in the checklist, and that's one of the things I'll be working on today and tomorrow, is making sure there's a checklist for week 1 and week 2. And I try to keep at least 2 weeks of classes up. More than that, it's just counterproductive because we might change things. So we've got a week 1 checklist, and that's just a list of all the things that you're going to be doing this week. And the second one is the week 1 walkthrough, which is what I'm recording right now. I'm recording the week 1 walkthrough. And I'm just walking through the class, walking through the course. It's a little bit longer than it usually is, but that's what I'm doing. The first item in this week I want you to read the checklist, and I want you to watch the screencast when it's done, because I'm taking all this effort to do it, and I want you to, respect that. But the first item here is syllabus annotation. I will have a separate screencast on how to do this, and I'll simply say how to do the syllabus annotation. And it'll be real short. In fact, it may even get part of that discussion right now. So you wonder yourself, well, how do I do that? There's no links or something. You simply click right there, syllabus annotation. Once you click on that, it takes you to the PDF of our syllabus, which I've put in there. It's also got a little tray over here on the side. This is a tool called Hypothesis, and Hypothesis is simply an annotation tool. So maybe I want to comment on that. You notice how the word annotate pops up. You click that, and a box appears over here, and you can write it. And you can write anything you want in here. It can be a question. It could be a response of some kind. Just try to make it useful. It could actually be a link somewhere else. It could be a picture or a meme. So I've decided I just want to put this. It's not a random meme, but it's one of my favorite memes. It's Confused Math Lady meme. You've probably seen it before. There's lots of variations to it. Instead, I'm just going to show you a YouTube version of this. And all you have to do is just put the YouTube version in there. And if you click preview, it pops up. So now you're not done there. And you might say, I really enjoy the website. Know your meme. So I say I want to send you there. So I just copy this and I click on the link up here. And I just happen to have the link there. If I click preview, it shows Know Your Memes right there. Then I might say, my fave meme is Confused Math Lady. Yeah, she's great. So when I say, okay, that's enough, I might want to add a tag, say meme, and then I can either post it to everybody, which is right here, the whole class, or I can post it only to me. So in the directions I'm going to show you in a minute, I say post it only to you at first. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to post it only to me. Now, if you look here under page notes, you'll see these are the directions, right, with information and extra tips and things like that. All right, so I want you to read this whole thing, and the idea is to respond to the syllabus with questions that you have, anything that you want to respond to. So I'd like to add this to this assignment. Could you change your email policy? I don't understand what this final reflection is. Anything, any question at all, and I'll cruise through this and try to answer them. But also you can add extra information, stuff you've done in other classes you think might be cool to do in this class. It doesn't matter to me. These learning outcomes are vague. You might say, well, we need to add a learning outcome here. We need to get rid of this one. I'm open to almost anything on this. It's going to be our syllabus. So back to this. So that's the syllabus annotation. Again, like I said, I'm going to give you a complete set of directions on that, and it'll probably be listed right below this or in a link somewhere. So no big deal. You'll be able to find it. The next item is feedback and reflection on using hypothesis to annotate. So once you're done annotating the syllabus, okay, you're following my directions, then what I want you to do is I want you to come here and you can fill in this survey. If you've done a Google form before, maybe you've never filled it out on an embedded form in Blackboard, but it's really easy to do. For example, okay, so one question about the hypothesis syllabus assignment, and you'll see the question down here. You put your name in here. It's required, so you got to put your name in. And here's the directions here, and I want your answer here. That's to make this better next time, because I'm planning on using a lot of Google Forms for feedback this semester. Okay, so once you've done that, you click Submit. Now, if you don't like filling stuff out inside of Blackboard, you can always click this link up here. It's the same thing. Either way, it doesn't matter. And then I'll get information back to you about what everybody said and how that's going to influence the way I teach the course. And perhaps even how I use hypothesis. Okay, so we've got another article here, and I haven't set this up as a hypothesis article, but I'd like you to read this, and I'd like you to read it by Monday. That'd be January 25th. And we'll talk about that in that Zoom class. That'll be the main topic of conversation, is the article, The Right to Bury the Past, the Online Past, which I think is very appropriate right now, considering how people are being canceled and being knocked off of social media, probably for good reason, but, you know, some people view that as censorship, and it doesn't matter if it's from the left or the right or the middle. If you get knocked off of a social media site, then anybody can be. So we're going to read that, and down here I'm going to show you how I read the article, because this is what's called close reading, and I want you all to begin to develop the habit of close reading in this course, because without close reading there can't be good writing. You can't do good research unless you understand what you're reading. So I use a tool that I think is super cool. It's called Wakelet, and what Wakelet allows you to do is to gather research information. So what I did was, I have this approach to reading the article, and I call this First Readings, How I Approach Texts. Okay, so we chose our text, and there it is right there. All right? And I'm going to have you do this for your own text a little bit later to use Wakelet. All right, so there's the copy of the, and I'm not going to show you how to do it because it's super simple later, and I'll show you later. So the original website is the Washington Post. Is it trustworthy? What makes you think it is or isn't? Okay, again, this is how I approach my reading. Is the source credible? You all probably do the same thing. What are the author's credentials? And you'll notice here there's an article here about the trustworthiness of the Washington Post from 2018. Author's credentials, then I talk. This is Liz Tucker. She's a consumer advocate in the nonprofit group Consumer Watchdog. This is some information about. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you extra information so you can judge the credibility and legitimacy of the article, because eventually you're going to have to critique stuff. And more importantly than that, you need to decide quickly whether the information that you're gathering for your research project is credible or not. And then I says, what sources does she direct us to? And she directs us to, in the article, she directs us to this One Family's Fight Against Grizzly Web Photos. And there's another example here she points us to, The Right to Be Forgotten. And then, of course, some general information from Wikipedia. And again, here's an editorial mentioned by the author, this one right here. So again, I'm giving extra information. Google Transparency Report, you need to look at that. Google provides details on the right to be private, basically. Here's another example of a Manhattan High School guidance counselor, and this has happened quite frequently, where, you know, she has asked that photos be taken down from her, I think it was from the lingerie ads, and the fairy, you know, all this stuff is leading to understanding the article better. Okay, then I've marked up the article. It's right here. You click on that, you can see how I marked up my article. I annotated it in real life. Okay. So that's a lot of stuff there, but that's my approach to reading this. Now you can approach this any way you want, but I want you to read it closely and carefully, and that's what we're going to talk about on Monday. The issues underlying the article and how we're going to summarize it. You got to understand it before you can summarize it. Oh, and by the way, if these things aggravate you, you can make them smaller, although I don't see the little things. I don't guess you can make them smaller on yours. Oh well. Anyway, just got to scroll past that nonsense there. The other thing I want you to do in class is, this is the last thing I want you to do. It's a discussion board called Who Are You? And I don't want it to be this. This is what I don't want it to be. That's why I say no, 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 no. I don't want you to say, hi, I am Terry Elliott. I'm your teacher for E300. I look forward to teaching this course and working with you. No, no. Give me something interesting. So read through this. I'm going to show you another example of Wakelet. And here's, if you don't like the embed version, here's the link to it. But these are all things that I've taken from my YouTube channel. You've already seen this if you was in week 0. I raise sheep. Those are my sheep. Here's some poetry that I wrote. Some more poetry. I like stuff like this. And some videos, and of course this, which I find super cool. Okay, that's who I am. Tell me a little bit about, you don't have to do this. I just want to hear your voice, not some fake here's what the teacher wants to hear voice. Okay? Now this has gone way longer than I expected it to, but that's pretty much it. Pretty much all I want you to do. I know it's a lot, and you're going to get out of your comfort zone on this. But again, we've got this time where you can write, you can call me, talk to me, email me. Any way that if you're having trouble, just let me know. Okay? All right. Thanks, everybody. And I look forward so much, really, to learning from you.